Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Coaching for Coaches. This is a channel that I started in order to create a discussion of what I think coaches should be like on the internet. There's a lot of coaches these days, life coaches, all sorts of coaches. And because it's unregulated, this business, for now, at the very least, it becomes a challenge for the consumer, but also for a coach that's really meaning to do a good job and means well. So my name is Anna. I've created Magic and Miracles. I've been a coach for 9 years. Magic and Miracles is my other channel where I coach people, but I also have coached a lot of coaches and therapists. And so my channel here is dedicated to my point of view, the discussions, the opinions of mine that would benefit you tremendously if you want to create a successful business. Additionally, I offer coaching for those of you who want to create your business from scratch. I offer you all the knowledge that I've accumulated as an entrepreneur, period, for 13 years, but particularly as a coach for the last 9 years. If you're already have a business, then I definitely help you level it up. There's a lot of work that is needed, I feel, for the coaches that have their channel and their business together. And the main thread for me, to be honest with you, is authenticity. There's too many people mimicking each other, and once in a while you find a real person, a real confused person, that is to say, who thinks they can get away with doing that out in the open. And I'm going to discuss why you can never get away with it. Once, legally you're going to be in a truckload of legal trouble, and you're going to end up bankrupt, basically. And two, how that's not even possible, and that's not even what people want out there. So the number one reason why you can never copy somebody else's success is because you're not them. Trying to become somebody else is a little bit like on the mental side, on the mental issue side. So you really need to look at your own insecurities. If you feel like going after somebody else's method, somebody else's creative process, instead of trying to figure out what works for you. And this is basically the recipe for success for anybody in any field, particularly in coaching. And remember, as a coach, you represent almost like an authority figure for your clients. You represent a person who should know better. You represent a person to whom people go for advice. So if you're conducting yourself in these questionable ways, first of all, understand one very important thing. People are really, really smart. The internet, the word, it goes so quickly around the internet, around the world, quite literally so. Before you know it, everybody will know what you're doing. And if it's not intentional, listen, you just need to really pay attention. First of all, do the work of your own to create your own material, your own brand, and your own point of view, okay, not somebody else's. But you need to pay attention to, and this is provided you've studied what's out there. You've studied, you've learned, paying attention enough to not copy somebody. It's a big no-no in this field, particularly more than anything, more than in music, more than in anything, because music, like Lady Gaga, when she outright copied Madonna's song, it was no question about it. But, in coaching, it's even more severe. Your credibility is going to be down the toilet. And here's why you can look like a complete idiot, essentially, if you do this, even unintentionally, because either way, either it's intentional or not, you're copying somebody. You're borrowing from somebody, and it's even worse when you don't quote them. That means you really don't know what you're talking about. But the main reason is this: you're not that person. You cannot replicate their genius, nor should you try. You don't know how that person is doing what they're doing. It isn't in the graphics of a thumbnail. It isn't in the length of a video. It isn't in their voice even, okay? Because, you listen, this person, they can sound any way, they can look any way. The essence of this person, it is what carries their success, is what carries what they're doing. And for me personally, I can say from my own personal kind of point of view, my material is entirely channeled. Now, of course, I've studied, I've learned so much quantum physics, mechanics, quantum, jumping, how all that is created, and how the science behind it. And now science more and more confirms what the so-called spiritual people already knew about. But it's more channeled than anything because I have my own ideas how to explain it. And channeling is a very unique process because, yeah, you can study, yeah, you can read, yeah, you can, educate yourself as much as you can. But at the end of the day, there's a certain something for me personally, like I said, that literally gives me the entirety of, the audio that I'm recording or the subject that I want. And it's called inspiration. It's called channeling. Okay, I'm literally channeling a message, usually because obviously I'm inspired to help people. And in addition to that, very often I get, I've just been looking for this video. I've just been looking for this audio. I'm so glad you're discussing it. So there's a connection between my listeners that, kind of comes standard because I'm tapping into this quantum field where I find the inspirations, I hear the topics in my head, I start channeling, and off I go. You cannot replicate this, nor should you try. It's impossible. Again, you cannot become that person, how they've grown up, what they've studied, what their inclinations were, their personality, their laughter, their, things that they like to talk about. That would be complete lunacy to do that. And again, I've seen it now done to such a degree that it's like, it's an SNL parody. It's literally the laughing stock of the entire internet. Seriously, though. And the thing is that copying another person in any shape or form will guarantee, again, legal trouble. But also, it's going to be like so short-lived, your little career in coaching. It's not going to be even funny. Why do people do this? I don't understand. And so coach after coach after coach on the internet does it to one degree or another without coming up with anything of their own. Now, some people will say, and I've heard this, from some like haters, you did not come up with the law. You did not create the law. So therefore, you know what? Always from the ones that need help the most. Yeah, that's not the point though. The point is the way that you create your material and the way that you express it. And in the copyright law, in particular, it's not what you're talking about, it's how you're talking about it. Okay? That is very important. So you don't have to come up with, reinvent the law or reinvent reinvent gravity. You don't have to do that. But your own point of view, your own brand, your own way of doing it, that's golden. That's your own, and nobody can take it away from you, not even in a gazillion million years. And particularly the relationship that you will have then with your audience once they see that you're invested in your authenticity, in expressing ideas in your own way. Yeah, they may have heard the same shit over and over again from other coaches, which all mimic each other to one degree or another. I mean, it's just the truth, all right? It's so shamelessly. It's absolutely obnoxious. But if you just allow yourself to go to your authenticity for ideas, for expansion, not looking at anybody else, I think the biggest mistake that you can do is looking at what other people are doing. I never looked at any other coach until I came on YouTube and people simply asked my opinion, what I think about this coach and the other coach. And honestly, like sitting here today, I cannot name one single coach that I would say like, yeah, they're doing a good job. Other than the ones that I've trained, with the exception of one. Okay. So basically speaking, the market is wide open. It's wide open for authentic people, for authenticity, for your ideas, for your creativity, for your point of view. Come up with it, will ya? That's the whole shebang. There's no need to replicate somebody else's success because you're going to fail, you're going to get yourself in legal trouble, and it's going to, like, the door is going to be shut. And or maybe it's going to be on your record. I don't know, it's going to be definitely on your social record that you did that, and it's going to be a point of no return once you cross over. But at the least, people are just going to lose interest in you and never pay you for your advice. Why would they? You're borrowing material from another person. That screams insecurity. That screams ignorance, complete and utter ignorance. So don't try to do that. Inspired, yes. Can you get inspired by certain speakers like Joe Dispenza and Bentinho Massaro and James Lipton and Duba Duba Doo and all these, like, the real deal people? Fabulous. But you know what? Are you ever going to mistake Joe Dispenza's message for somebody else's? Probably not. Because he's not fucking mimicking anybody. So your goal should totally be transparency, authenticity, delivering a new point of view. Otherwise, don't bother. Honestly, I'm going to be straight with you. Don't bother. If you think you're going to come into this game in order to make a quick buck, you're going to lose that money and you're going to regret, doing it for this reason alone. It needs to be that your heart is really in it, that you really have a message to deliver, and you want to deliver it in your own way, copying no one, mimicking no one. Completely. That is career suicide if you're copying somebody. Just completely. And I've had to deal with it now in my fashion, because I have a fashion company that I started 13 years ago. I've had to deal with it, with the copying and outright, not even borrowing, but stealing, I would say. And it always looks ridiculous, and it always, like all the things that I just said, screams insecurity, screams ignorance, and at the end, it just comes down to legal trouble and the loss of your money, because you're going to have to pay that person back when you're causing an interference into their business, when you're downright mimicking them. It's going to be really, really tragic. So in order to succeed, focus on what you have to deliver. Focus on what you have. And if you don't have anything of your own, go get another job. Seriously, though. I'm so perfectly blunt and honest because there's just no in between. Stop giving coaches a bad name out there. There's lots of coaches out there in the internet, YouTube world that should have never become coaches. They have zero interest in creating, in innovating, in expressing themselves differently. They just think that if they copy and paste Neville Goddard or somebody else, it's going to be like they're just like hopping on a wagon. No, darling, no. No, that is so pathetic. I cannot explain in words. You look like an idiot, quite frankly. Yeah. And also for the consumer, again, I want to stress, people are really observant, really smart. They pay attention to, when I tell you they pay attention, some of my clients and subscribers, they'll literally quote me verbatim off of my audios and videos. They know everything that I'm saying. So don't you think they'll catch up to your bullshit if you're copying somebody in 3 seconds? In 3 seconds. And you know how really, close you always are to this line of completely losing your credibility when, you're starting to do stupid things like mimicking somebody. This is everything in this business. Your credibility is everything. And that, again, is very much rooted in your authentic message. So spend some time before you get it in your head that you can get away with something like that, or that you will be successful doing something like that. Spend some time and rather pursue this kind of like dialogue rather with yourself in talking about, what do I have to offer? What is so unique about my teaching that I feel like it has to be a business? If it's unique, if it comes from you, think about how you're going to do it. Think about how you're going to deliver it. And then go for it. Maybe come into my coaching, and this, like, I cannot teach you. I will not come up with like a strategy for you how you want to coach. I will guide you certainly as a coach to come up with that, but you're going to have an idea of what kind of message you're going to deliver to your clients, to your listeners, to your watchers. That is quite literal gold. That, again, if you work hard at it, if you really make sure that it's unlike anything out there, nobody will be able to take it away from you. If they try, first of all, they will fail miserably, and the whole world will find out what they did. So invest in yourself as a coach is like a must. Invest in yourself. Come up with these things effortlessly, so not just by trying to get money out of people. The money will naturally come. When you're super authentic means they cannot get it from anywhere else. They cannot. Even if the person mimics you, they're still going to fall short miserably. Okay, I hear this in my coaching all the time. Nobody does it like you. You're a complete breath of fresh air. It's nothing even close. I hear it all the time. You know why? And I'm not even bragging, because I took the fucking time to become the best coach that I could possibly be, and I'm always improving my methods, and I'm always improving the way that I deliver the message. I'm not competing with anybody. I'm only competing with myself. And that strength and that perseverance and that ambition to deliver the best kind of work, because if it's good enough for you, if you really can say, yeah, I did okay, I did a good job by creating this, that, and the other, I copied no one, mimicked no one, I'm proud of this work, then you know what to expect. You know it's going to be a guaranteed success. Maybe not immediately, but eventually, certainly. When people will hear your story, your specific point of view, your specific message, of course. And that goes for everything, like I said, but specifically in coaching, where people literally come to you for advice and they want to respect you, and do. Hold on to that respect, hold on to that ability to have this very kind of like privileged position. Where, yeah, you want to help people, but it's a privilege to help people. It's not just, like whatever, like anybody can do it. No. Again, your motivations really count. And if your motivation is solely to get into this business, to kind of like make money, that's so dull. I could just fall asleep right now. So this is, as harsh as it sounds, I really want you guys to know that even if the slightest inclination inside of you says, oh, let's do it like this one does. No, no, let's not. Let's come up with your own way. And this is what I do for coaches in my coaching, because I already did so much research. I know what's out there. I know how people do things. I will make sure that your coaching program, or whatever it is that you will come up with, will be like nobody else's. No, it cannot be like mine, obviously. I think it's obvious, is it not? It definitely cannot. And you will sign a coaching agreement where you will be held accountable if you do that. But more than that, just go back and re-listen to this audio, all the reasons why you shouldn't do this. No one is really competing with anybody else, and that's the best way to go. Everybody's really different. Everybody's very different. Your life is different. Your story is different. Your point of view is different. Your ideas are different. Use those fucking ideas. Don't sell yourself short and get yourself into a massive trouble. Okay, because you might think you might get away with it for some time, but again, it's going to catch up to you so quick, and it's going to take away your business entirely. It's not worth it. It's just not worth it. Just spend a little more time figuring out what you're going to do, how you're going to do it, and make sure that it's coming from you and nobody else, and then go to town. And like I said, I'm only going on the assumption, by the way, that you want longevity for your business, that you want to do this, not short term, but long term, right? That will be a guarantee of your success. That and nothing else. 100%, because that will be your gold, again, that absolutely nobody can take away from you, even if they tried, because your method, they don't understand how you will come up with your own genius, because that's your genius. So tapping into that genius that's full of abundance and ideas and money and whatever the fuck you please, it's only through your authenticity. I cannot stress this enough. Thank you very much for listening. All the information for me is below. The coaching package that I offer for coaches is also below. Until next time, ciao, ciao.